What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist in his merry attire with...
Gersh1, and I also have merry attire, I guess.
And today we're back at it, doing the thing we do, talking, answering questions in another spine-tingling, enticing episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we'll get those questions first. And happy holidays to you guys. Christmas is tomorrow, or Christmas Eve is tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you bought your presents. If you haven't, you're screwed.
But Christmas isn't about present, right?
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. We live in a capitalistic society where your worth is based on how much material you gain and sell.
Even though I do enjoy this season because like you do get a lot of like family gatherings and like cousin gatherings and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's been fun going around and doing things with like larger groups. Not so much about Jesus though, which is I'm fine with, because we're here to talk about the God Emperor.
Mm-hmm. Our Jesus.
Our Jesus, yes. And this question comes from...
I actually don't have that question.
You
have it.
I had it?
Yeah, you had it.
Oh, yes. This question comes from Washaish. What are the main inconsistencies / contradictions in stories or lore in 40K? Top 5, please. Oh, shit. You want us to do 5?
Hey, we can only do so much, man.
Yeah.
5? I can't even count that high. Yeah. But yeah, one of the major inconsistencies in 40K that I feel like should get addressed, but then doesn't, but then they add more to it, but then they don't, is the thing about the past and the future and the warp and time, just time travel in general. Because I feel like whenever you include time travel, it's usually a means to fix something or change something, but then things get convoluted. So the thing that I'm going to bring up as one example, because I can't bring up 5, is that the whole thing with chaos. Apparently the chaos gods always have been and always were and will always be. But if that's the case, why are they trying to kill them when these things were always there? They're almost like an entity of like nature itself, chaos. But at the same time, you're like, oh, the birth of Slonash. How do you birth a chaos god? Like there was a certain point in time that the Eldar were at their pinnacle, created this through decadence and excess. And it's like, well, I thought chaos gods were always there, always have been. So it's like, well, is it only just Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch? But then it's like, well, no, because Nurgle was birthed through like the bubonic plague or the black plague. But it's like, that doesn't make any sense, because it's like plague, death, disease, and everything that Nurgle embodies was running rampant, and probably makes more sense for any other Xenos race. Why is it always got to be humanity birthing these things? Because like I think that was the same thing with Khorne. The first act of violence by 2 humans is what caused Khorne to be created. Yeah. But it's like violence was always there even before humanity. So
the war in heaven.
Yeah, these inconsistencies, these controversial things, like they have origins when they shouldn't, and they have explanations when it contradicts things that were said later on. So it's like, what's what?
Yeah.
¿Por qué, GW? Why do this to me?
A lot of inconsistencies in like just the creation of the gods. Mm-hmm. Part of it too has to do with like they were shared by Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy back then. Yeah. So like that story was not developed exclusively for 40K or exclusively for fantasy. Mm-hmm. They were kind of like...
Yeah. The other thing too is with 40K, a lot of things are inspired through history. Like a lot of like the words like crossing the Rubicon was like the Romans, and like this. You have a lot of similarities between historical events in humanity, but even more so with religion. So it's like maybe they're trying to branch out and make these religious things into 40K, but then since you're bringing in the whole science fiction-y aspect of it, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, another one I think is like the squat, because you did make me think of now where the squats were basically fantasy or space dwarves.
Space dwarves, yeah.
They were supposedly abhumans. Mm-hmm. Like that's how it was initially, and they were destroyed by the Tyranids. But then that kind of changed, where now they were just like another species. And then I had the most recent lore. I'm not even sure what's happening. But I guess just the Tyranid lore in general also has changed, because not only did they destroy the entire civilization of the Squats, but they also used to have the what are they called? The green lizard.
Oh,
things.
Zotes.
Zotes, yeah. They used to use Zotes as like
a scout. Not a scout, but like a diplomatic way.
Yeah.
It's
the
like,
way to communicate.
Yeah, why are Tyranids doing this? Aren't they just primal hunters?
Yep, so that changed.
Necrons changed.
Yeah.
Mindless zombies, and now it's like, no, they're mindless because they're not fully awoke yet, and only the lords have personalities. And
yeah. And then finally, like the Sanguinius thing.
Yes.
Where like Sanguinius was supposedly dead. But now he's not. He's in stasis.
Yeah, near death in stasis. Kind of like Gilliman. Yeah, I think like back in the day, the thing that really made 40K really awesome and like actually grim dark was that like things died and there were consequences from death. And now it's like, well, hold on, we could use these characters for more stories. That's why Gilliman wasn't dead when he got stabbed with a poison blade in his throat. Like, who survives that? And then the whole thing with Sanguinius, too. So it's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have killed off Ferrus Manus. But it's like, we can't bring him back because he's beheaded.
Yep.
And the skull is not even in the Imperium's control. Chaos has it. Abaddon had it at one point. Bio had it at one point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of things change over time. Whether it be for profits or a lot of times it's through like controversy, like copyright stuff, like, oh, they don't have the rights to this character anymore, so now they got to change the lore, kind of like with Malal being another chaos god, not anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of things change. Were those 5?
I think so. That might have been. Yeah, it might have been 5.
Who knows? Like I said, I can't count that high.
This next question comes from the big one. If I get drunk, how do I stop hot big booty chaos demons from taking advantage of me? So I'm sorry to tell you that those are not hot big booty demons. You're just drunk. They're actually nasty. What are those Zinchian demons with the tongues that like come out? Those things.
Those things, yeah. I was gonna say flamers of Zeech, but I don't think they have tongues.
No, isn't it just like one giant tube that shoots out fire with teeth?
Yeah.
That's probably one of the worst designs I've ever seen for any character in 40K. What did you call them?
Flamers of Zeech.
Yeah, Flamers of Zeech. They look dumb.
But I mean, that's the whole thing about Zeech. It's like there's no real shape. Things are always like mutating and morphing. Because if you stay stagnant, then there's no change.
Yeah. But I do like the concepts of like what are the manta ray looking things?
Oh, Screamers of Zeech.
Yeah, the Screamers of Zeech are cool because they're basically like swimming through the air, or like you have the aesthetic of the birds and stuff. The Flamers is just it almost looks like somebody's like old Christmas sweater with like flames coming out of the sleeves. It's just dumb.
That's a new ugly Christmas sweater idea.
There you go. Next question.
This one's by Gofaria Rebels. Hello once again. My question is, since there are outlaws in the sort of 40K, are there outlaws and criminals in the Tau Society?
Yeah.
Glado, of course. You just don't hear about it as often.
It's kind of like North Korea. They have no defectors. They have no concentration camps or whatever. But they do.
Yeah. Anything anybody has anywhere can be replicated, and they probably have it then and there. So just how you have like traders for the Imperium, there's traders in the Tau Empire. Yeah, if you could think it, you can do it. That's why the Gene Stealer cults have cowboys.
Yes, cowboys.
Yes.
Next question comes from Maverick Azur. When your videos stop uploading to YouTube, do you stick around to see the first comment or go to bed? I used to schedule all of our videos, but recently what I've been doing is just posting them. And I do wait a little bit just to see like if anybody comments something. We got rid of like the first stuff, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I used to do that way back in the day, like stay out for the hour and see. But as you get older, you get tired, man.
Oh yeah, like it never goes away. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's like I slept 8 hours. Why am I still feeling like crap?
I don't know why, but I looked at one of our old videos, like our old Greater Walls. Oh, it's because of the playlist. So like there's a Greater Wall playlist, and like if you go to it at the very, very beginning of the playlist, there's obviously like us back when there's a completely different house. There was a window behind us, and the window had a chip. And I was just like, I just remembered how much energy I had back then. Like it would be like work, basketball, school, come home, record, and then after that still have energy to do more things. Now it's just like I get up and I'm ready to go to bed. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to be like, man, it's called cocaine.
That doesn't work that well, though. Like, it works well for like a week, and then afterwards, your body gets used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's almost like coffee.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had a coffee in a long time. That's why I get headaches.
Because you're like deprived of the caffeine?
Sometimes it's like, oh, I have too much coffee, so I have headaches. And it's like, no, I don't have any, and I still have headaches. There's no win-win.
I've only gotten headaches when I don't eat.
I get that too.
Yeah. I've never been like, well, have I ever like tried to stop any of my addictions? I don't think I have. Never mind. Next question comes from Silbert. I have about 5% of my portfolio in uranium Bitcoin. Any advice on anything, any other cryptocurrency that I can grow my 300K capital to $1 million? Right now is a really good time to buy, just because the market is really, really low.
It is low.
And I think they're doing it that on purpose, because you could actually, there's a little like tax break loophole where you could sell your coins right now at a loss, report that to the tax return for next year, and then just buy right back. And if you buy right back at almost the same price, you might lose a little bit, but you're not losing like crazy amounts. However, right now what I would say is, what is it called? Fractal Protocol. They actually have a YouTube channel. It's a really cool data, or it's a cryptocurrency and a company that's more geared towards data. It's a German company. But yeah, check that out. I think it's abbreviated FCL. And you can get it on KuCoin. KuCoin is where you kind of make your money.
KuCoin.
KuCoin. Or you could also buy starter sets for 40K, wait a year or two, and then sell them for double. So there you go.
Yeah.
But even then, it's only double.
That is true. Only double.
Oh.
Tommy Falcon says, do you guys happen to have the Big One sister's phone number? I'm asking for a friend.
Because she gives the best sloppy toppy.
Mm-hmm. And then his real question is, can orcs regrow limbs, or can they like staple together and Frankenstein the other orc parts to themselves? I get they use robot parts when they're plant-based and vegan, so they should be able to graft other parts or regrow them, right?
No.
That's not how it works, man.
Yeah, it's the second one that you said. They'll take like an arm from another orc and put it on. They can't just like Deadpool grow something.
Mm-hmm. Or if they just like find a whole bunch of like arms and limbs on the battlefield and they just like staple it to themselves, they can't like use all that and be like a spider orc, a spork, sporkder,
a sporkder.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. This one comes from Polished Pebble. Does blocking a person's presence in the Immaterium have adverse effects on the person? If not, could mass-produce suits with reworked shards of Eldar Spirit Stones or Necron Blackstone starve out chaos? Yep, that's kind of what the Star Titan... No, not the Star Titan Nexus. What's it called? The Necrons thing?
The Necron thing.
Yeah, the one that's like... that the Silent King is working on, that's basically covering an entire area and like nullifying it. Not the Star Titan Nexus. It's called the not the Cicatrice Maledictum.
No, that's the Gash.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Right.
This is gonna drive me nuts. Imperium Nihilus? No, that's. But basically, the Necrons are doing that. They're putting a blanket over a region of space, so that presence gets disconnected, and the adverse effect is that humans become. They don't die, but they just become less than because like their warp thing is missing. If you guys watch
Pariah Nexus.
Yes, the Pariah Nexus. There you go. If you guys watch The Golden Compass, the TV series or the series on I think Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
It's almost the same as when those little kids, their demons are split from them. That's basically what happens.
Mm-hmm. Little kids have demons.
Apparently.
Tommy Falcon's question is a part 2. Is there a reason that there is more faction/racial variety in Age of Sigmar than in 40K? Do you guys feel any sort of way about this?
I think what happened was that GW was like, okay, 40K is working perfectly. These guys are gobbling up everything that we throw at them that's Space Marine related.
Glizzy gobblers.
Yeah, so let's stick to that. We need to focus more on Age of Sigmar and figure out, what the gimmick faction is going to be, which they thought the Stormcast Eternals was going to be. But I think they're struggling now, so that's why they brought on these new orc weird dudes, and they had the bone people for a while.
Yeah, they got water elves, tree elves, regular elves, dark elves. Yeah.
And also, I feel like fantasy is way more there's been more people in the realm of fantasy writing fantasy books for them to steal off of, whereas with sci-fi it's still kind of, we're getting into it. But you can't, even the sci-fi stories that exist right now, on Netflix and all that kind of stuff, they're still, it's usually human-centric. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're following this new type of vampire race or something, even though that'd be really badass. That's what the Blood Angels are.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it would be interesting to see, a sci-fi movie in the perspective of, xenomorphs or, Predator.
Yeah, I've always wanted a orc-focused story. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're ever going to get one.
Because even that Warhammer and Vulture show was we're the orcs, but let's tell a story in Yarick's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Next question.
Another MC says, so is Slonash an Eldar god? I mean, Eldar did kind of birth Slonash. So, technically, it was created by the Eldar, so it would be an Eldar god. But not really.
Yeah, when we say the Eldar are chaos gods, they're from the materia. Mm-hmm. Without psychic presence, they wouldn't exist.
Right.
Same with the Gorka Mork. Mm-hmm. Same with the God Emperor.
Son dioses.
It's not like the tower just gonna all of a sudden pop up and be like, we're gonna create our own god. No, you ain't. Next question.
This one's pointed directly at you, Gershwin. Chovy says, why do you think he's fake? Henry Cavill is a huge nerd. He said that he missed the first time they called him to be Superman because he was playing World of Warcraft. He also played the Witcher game and read the books, and that's why he wanted to be Geralt.
Because conveniently, every time he talks about 40K, it's right when he has to promote something. And he's bringing other people into it too. When they have to promote Spider-Man. Also, and I think I said this before, he plays Adeptus Custodes. Mm-hmm. They are they're a relatively new faction.
So recently there was another article or interview with him where he talked about the Eisenhorn books and how he wanted to be cast in a 40K movie or show, but that he's cautious about who he gets picked to play. How do you feel about him knowing Eisenhorn and all these novels and stuff?
Another relatively new story. This is also me gatekeeping, and we've said that we shouldn't do that. But since you've asked, but yeah, because I remember when we first started playing, there was no Eisenhorn story or anything like that. So it's he's a nerd in the sense that he's a nerd when it's convenient to him. But who knows? Maybe I'm just full of shit.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show, have his opinions.
Yeah, I'll spin his face. But yeah.
I'll lick it off.
Whoa. What kind of show is this?
Right.
But yeah, those were the questions for today.
Go ahead.
If you guys have more of a desire for me to talk shit about Henry Cavill, please comment down in the comment section below. And it's not really talking shit though. Oh, even though No, never mind. That's not. I guess I'll talk about that some other day.
This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first.